Just want to let you know what you're about to see. On week 11, day 2, everybody brought their computer, like laptop or their phone, or printed versions of their articles to class, and then everybody worked on practicing their annotated bibliography. You know, some people were still working on finding their topics or finding articles for their topics, but for the most part, that's what we were doing, was working on the annotated bibliographies. And as people had questions about those, I would come and help with those, or computer questions or formatting questions. I would come around the room and help people figure that out. So what you're about to see, most of the class was me helping people individually, but there was one point in the class where somebody kind of had a question. I mean, it's possible, like, some of the stuff that I say, you know, there's a lot of it, so like it could go, you could miss it. But in this particular part, somebody had asked if we could use Google Scholar, and you know, we'd already kind of gone through the databases thing, so I wanted to just one more time take everybody through like a quick version, how to get to the databases, how to find articles, and then I think I also mentioned like how to submit the planning and what the planning is supposed to contain, as well as the annotated bibliography. So I did like a quick blow through of that, and so that's going to come right after this. You know, for people who still, like, you kind of just need everything in one place, I think that was a good kind of version of something to keep. Most of the class, though, was just me going around helping people, so I didn't include all of that. But yeah, that's it. So stay tuned for that coming up now. Oh, and this, I just realized something, but it has nothing to do with what I just read of yours. But I just want to tell everybody, so just don't think I'm talking about yours. There's something I mentioned to the other class I want to mention to you guys too. When it comes to like, a lot of articles will have an abstract. Have y'all noticed that? Like, they'll have like an abstract included, and that abstract is the author's summary of their own work, essentially, or like, here's what my study contains. And it might be tempting to use that abstract to help make your summary, but you really should not do that. On this paper, like when it comes to the plagiarism checker thing, when it has the percentages, I generally don't pay too much to that percentage unless the percentage is kind of high to me, like on most of the essays I've had so far. Like if you hit like 20 to 40, if you had like 20 on like a narrative essay, which should all be you, that's kind of weird. Or if you had like 30 to 40 on essay 3, I'll go ahead and check and make sure it's the only quotes you're using. But on this essay, the percentage will look pretty high, but I'm probably going to check everybody's anyway, because I don't want any quotes from any articles to appear in your annotations, none whatsoever. I only want you to be paraphrasing everything, not even paraphrasing, I want you summarizing the entirety of the article down into a little bitty space, which means you should be using nothing from those articles. So if the plagiarism checker hits anything in those annotations, I'm going to be telling you you have plagiarized material, assuming that it's like a sentence from that article that's being used, or a sentence from some other article for some reason. I don't know why you would do that.
So do we still have to cite it though?
Huh?
Not in text citation, but like at the end of our.
I mean, you're still going to use citation. I'm talking about the citations aren't going to be considered plagiarism. It's just the paragraphs. Like if it says that
like
this sentence of.
What we got the information from.
But like we shouldn't be using in-text citations because we're not using any sense.
Right. I mean, you are going to be saying in every single annotation, you'll say, like if the person's name is Johnson, you'll say Johnson states in this article that, or Johnson states that, blah, 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 blah. Johnson moves on to say that, blah, 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 blah. But Johnson's evidence is very well provided. So you're always saying his name over and over again. That's all I really need. Okay. What I'm saying is, in the sentences that you're using,
they should be the exact.
They should not be ever the exact same as what appears in the article or the abstract.
Okay.
You should be writing all of those originally. I'll consider it plagiarism, even though you're saying where you got it from, if you're using their words because I've told you not to. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So there's no like easy way of I'll just copy paste the abstract basically, or copy paste 3 sentences from the article and make that my annotation, which happens way more frequently than you'd think.
Really?
A lot. Usually it's people who turn it in late.
So,
Well, what did somebody say? What did he say? You said about what, everything? Or just the last thing? Okay. Is it a lot of times people who end up copy pasting like sentences from the abstract or the article instead of writing the annotations? There are people who turn it in late often. Yeah. What'd you say?
Okay, I thought we was writing a research paper, so you want an annotation too?
Because there's 3 steps to the research process. The first one is the planning, where you're giving me your thesis, and then you're giving me your works cited articles.
Here we go.
Or not works cited, references. And then I will approve those if I think that that topic is something you could actually do.
So the references will be like
That's weird though.
the articles, it'll be the articles cited, Justin?
Here's what I'll show you what it all looks like basically.
Okay, 'cause I'm
So if I go over here to the, first of all, if y'all wanted to see the annotated bibliography PowerPoint that I had on there, it's like right here. Well, I don't know, why is it not there? Hello, okay. On Blackboard under PowerPoints, you can find the annotated bibliography PowerPoint that I have, and others as well, but go to assignments. So if you go to assignments, then you go down to research paper planning, you'll see there's a PDF attached. And then in there, you can find
Oh, I'm so glad you don't do that.
sample research paper planning assignment, sample annotated bibliography, and sample research paper. Now each one of these steps up here explains what you're supposed to do on each one of those steps. But the sample planning shows here's what you submit. You'll submit a references page with your citations, and you'll submit a copy of your thesis. It doesn't have to be color coded. I've just showed you the color coding to tell you how to construct your thesis. And when you submit it, it will look like this on Blackboard. You'll have your references page, and you'll have your thesis in the comments box. And then I will approve
So
this
could I
if it
put
works.
my references page and down below on the next page, put my thesis if I wanted to?
Oh yeah, you can have it appear down below here, but I also still want you to paste it in the comments box. Because the way I grade it is I look at your articles on the left, and then look at whether or not it works with the thesis on the right. Otherwise I have to keep scrolling up and down.
Okay.
But yeah, you can have it in the document too. And then after you've done that and I've approved your articles, then you can move on to the annotated bibliography, which looks like this. So every one of your references that you had cited, you'll have a paragraph summarizing the article and explaining whether or not it's credible. So it goes, there's like 5 of those. And then later, next week, we'll actually be working on the research paper, which will have a title page, an abstract, a big old article that you've written, and then the references page at the end. What now?
You never approve our stuff.
That'll probably not likely happen unless you quit trying. I've never had somebody who continually tries in my class. I cannot actually say of a person who tried in my class that actually failed.
Like an arrow though.
Oh, that's fine.
Instead of having to go like
That's fine.
down and read you.
I don't get these points, right?
You can turn that in and have it be like you can put like a title, a heading, and a bibliography, and you'll still get the achievement possibility as long as you turn something in. So I'll let you submit something that's like not the best, just to make sure you're still in the running for the achievements.
I do too.
But you still, to actually turn in the finalized copy of your annotated bibliography, you've got to have your thesis and references approved.
You said my reference.
What did I say was wrong about them?
I did it wrong.
Oh. Did you go to Google or did you go to our databases?
I wasn't doing it right. With the database.
Yeah, that's right.
So the references on Google Scholar?
No, databases only. You have to use the PJC databases only, so you'll go here. Everybody needs to go to www.parishjc.edu, and you can Google PJC library, but that's about as far as you need to go on Google. After you get to our website, you go to Quick Links, Library Services, scroll down, go to Databases Off Campus on the left, log in with your Blackboard information, so 8-digit student ID and then password. Do all of your research on this database called Academic Search Complete. Anytime you do any research on anything, which I'm going to say sex education because that's the sample topic, sex education. So y'all can't write about that anyway. Anybody who does any search on any topic needs to check this box, scholarly peer-reviewed journal, only. Limits me down to about 3,000 articles less. Needs to go to language, limit to English. I mean, you might speak other languages, but it's probably just a good idea. Limit it only to academic journals, not book reviews and trade publications and magazines. Now we're down to 5,200 articles. What?
Can you go back one? What did you do?
I did scholarly peer-reviewed, I did academic journals, and I did language English. And then one more thing I need you to do is think about your topic and whether or not it needs to be more of a current topic. Most of them will be. Sex education, a lot of things have changed since the internet. Kids are sometimes educating themselves, so the way in which we educate them formally probably needs to change because they'll be in contact with sex before we even think that they know what it is. So I'll probably just change this 2019 to maybe since Snapchat's been around, 2014. And people know what it is. I think it came out in 2012. So now I'm down to 1,812, but it's still too many for me to read. And then once you're at that point, when you limit it to everything you could limit, then go to subject limitations and look at if it's got anything that you want to focus on. So there's psychological aspects, which isn't what I'm interested in. United States, I do care about United States sex education, so I'll click that one. And then that's when it'll update, give me only 50 articles I have to go through, and all I got to do is narrow it down to 5 that I can use. So
the ones that would be like the annotations.
Yeah, those are going to be the ones that you would propose to me for the references, and the references are easy to grab if you know how. You don't even have to make them yourselves. They're made for you on here. So if I click this particular article, the very first one, and I decide I want to use it, I can save the PDF here by clicking the PDF full text, and it'll show me the exact way the article looked in its original state. It's got data and graphs and stuff, so I did this in the other class where I showed y'all, oh, okay, it's a good article. Let's assume it's a good article. Then you go to this little tiny piece of paper looking thing on the right, and it says Cite. And you click it, you scroll down to APA. Don't do this one. Everybody who's got Disponible, IM, I know that you're doing the wrong one, which is a lot of people, because you've got the Portuguese, and I want Portuguese. Scroll down to APA. That's what we're doing. You'll copy this. You'll paste this. Well, what now? Oh, yeah, Cite. It's the little piece of paper. Not the folder, not the little D with the arrow, but the little one that looks like a piece of paper, and you'll cite. And then you'll copy paste that citation from the American Psychological Association, APA, onto a Word document. 5 of those. Yes.
Word. Got it. So I have a question.
Indeed. Yes.
Part of one of the achievements is to bring our research paper to class, have it peer reviewed or whatever. Does it have to be completely done?
It does not have to be completely done.
As long as we have at least enough to review it.
In fact, I'm not even expecting most people who come. I mean, I've noticed a lot of students put a lot of stock into formatting. Like they think that that's what teachers grade on. That's really the least of what I grade on generally. I grade on content and argument. In most cases with papers, structure, organization, that sort of stuff. So don't be thinking before you go to the peer review, man, I've got to get a title page figured out and an abstract, and that's irrelevant. Really, I just need to make sure that you've started working on the argument for your paper. So start writing a couple paragraphs. Don't worry about trying to grab the title page and abstract and stuff. So it looks right.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't have to get it completely done.
No, it doesn't have to be completely done. No. Does not.